Welcome back once again, everybody, to what has been one of the craziest days in competitive Halo history. Bravo alongside myself, Onset, and we got another game in front of us in the elimination bracket, round one. But coming into this game, usually I'd favorite one team very, very heavily. eUnited, they've been very good all season, but with what has happened so far today, Andy, JLINGZ Esports, who has been a Cinderella story in themselves, coming through the play-ins, now find themselves with an opportunity to cause yet another upset today.
I mean, it's been wild. If you haven't caught all the matches just yet, you've got a lot of VOD to catch up on. You and I were just talking to some of the pro players here. There are probably more upsets today on Saturday at the World Championships than we maybe have seen all season long, which is absolutely crazy to say. Maybe we'll see another one here. JLINGZ going up against eUnited. Let's not forget, eUnited still coming off of the back of a heartbreaking Game 5 loss.
Yeah, Game 5, excuse me, loss against FaZe a little bit earlier on. JLINGZ, of course, they won a Game 5 to get into this position. They took down Team War in those play-ins to find themselves with an opportunity to keep fighting here at the Halo World Championships. It's going to be King of the Hill to start us off here on live fire, and we're going to watch a bit of one of the nicest guys you ever meet. It's going to be Morgan.
Yeah, absolutely crazy to think these two teams fighting for their tournament lives here at the World Championships, and they now have many examples of teams who have fallen short, much shorter, and gone home much earlier than they wanted. Add them to the list. G2 and G1 just eliminated, by the way, by Fnatic and Oxygen here. eUnited knows that there is a lot to play for in this series, and JLINGZ, your European dreamers, will see what they can do.
Well, early on here, it's a great start for JLINGZ. They prioritize getting early control of this first hill, giving up the overshield, and now you're going to see the opportunity to break coming in from eUnited. Should be a pretty comfortable break for them. You can see a couple of picks going their way as Flux will actually trade out a couple of those kills, which is great for him, because yesterday he came up to us after the Game 5 that they did win. He was full of beans. He was saying, did you see that Game 5? I just dropped a huge amount of kills.
Yeah, you could smell that he was full of beans as well here. Small lead on JLINGZ here, about 60% or so on that first hill.
Why you got to do him like that?
Nah, just kidding. Great smelling guy, great stats as well from Flux, 18-4. In this game, he starts off 2-2. Wild day so far, and you have to think, we just saw eUnited backstage do the pro player warm-up, and you could tell they are focused up, but they're realizing what happened earlier, right? They were kind of really, I would say, heads down and know exactly what they need to do for the rest of the day here. They cannot have a repeat of the earlier series.
Well, this is the last push that's going to come in here from JLINGZ. It might be down to a 1v1, but it is going to be given up. As you can see, eUnited do secure that first point here on live fire, King of the Hill. They're up by 1. Now you're going to see that rotation towards tower, and you can see that Rhino already being a nuisance here for Quad.
Yeah, you have to feel like we talked about that game number 1 being a wake-up call for eUnited in that first series against FaZe. They won games 2 and 3, and it felt like that was really the kick in the pants that they needed. However, you have to think with that series loss, can they harness that? Instead of being down about that loss to FaZe earlier on the main stage, can they harness that and let them have great momentum and great energy through the elimination round?
Well, as the spawns come in for JLINGZ, they went all 4 dead for a moment. The overshield will be popped here by Ryan, who complete control of the tower, as well as the weapons and the power-up that you can see in the hands of Ryan. Now he's should be able to clean this kill up pretty comfortably. It looks a little bit uncomfortable, but now he's going to line up a shot onto Septic at the nest. Oh, of course. It's the difficult one.
Yeah, exactly. That is the way to do it there. Maybe a windmill for just a split second, but you hit the shot that counts there on the nest. Nice work here from Ryan. Noob 3 still dead for JLINGZ.
Unfortunately here for Morgan, I said it was a nice guy, but the gameplay not quite matching it at the moment. He's sat on a donut. 0-5 for Morgan. Ryan Noob's still patrolling around this top tower, and it's almost 2-0 already. Goodness me, Septic. I only saw you for a second, but it was a second too long as you'll put into the death screen thanks to Rhino.
Quad will win that one in the back tower. Triple kill, by the way, for Quadios. Nice work. Green gun in hand as well. An opportunity for the stop.
Just at the last second. Also, JLINGZ will step into this tower hill. eUnited taking their time to make sure they get 4 players back on the map before they attempt this break. They do also have a sniper rifle, so 1 pick here. And maybe JLINGZ have an opportunity to make this a little bit more uncomfortable. Early damage coming in, but Morgan and Flux are there to trade out a couple of kills. Rhino trying to break through himself. Rain looks like he might be desperately trying to clean up these players back tower and get that last moment of time to secure that second point here for EU.
Flux not going to be an easy kill. However, it's a good trade from Rain there in the end. 1v1. Ryan Noob wins that one in the dummy pit. 2 dead for both sides. Suspected the only player alive. So the stop continues. Here comes Suspector up the dummy ramp.
Suspector comes in, turns this into a 1v1. He's dropped the drop wall, and that makes Quad think twice about the decisions he has to follow through on. We'll be able to snap onto him, though. So Quad versus Suspector, and it's Quadios who actually wins that one.
Still no ability to jump in here for the side of United. Still 2 dead. Snipdown trying to make something happen. Quadios needs a little bit of help.
Needs to challenge the hill.
1v1 here. Wow, Snipdown wins that one pretty convincingly, and Really a solo effort there from Snipedown to fly up over the cuts, get the second point on the board here. Ryan Noob with a late overshield pop in the back of A as well.
2 in a row here for eUnited. 3 in a row in total, actually, for eUnited. 2 in a row for Ryan Noob. The spikes come in from green, not doing a huge amount of damage. The AR, though, is going to be ripping away at shields. There's the help coming in from Suspector as well. And at the moment, eUnited are taking them apart. Even with a nice sniper kill coming in from Septic, this is guaranteed time here for EU.
Yeah, there were moments of hope there for the side of JLINGZ during that C-Plot hill, but really didn't give themselves much room for error as they found themselves down by about 99% to 0 on that second point. And in the end, it'll not only go to eUnited, but eUnited will come off the back of that with significant control here, continually holding down House, and now halfway through Hill 3 as well.
Good damage coming in here from Morga, who stepped his game up a little bit. A couple of kills just to get the confidence flowing. Teammates there to clean those up as well. Spikes are going to be coming in, but Morga with a heat wave, aggressively pushing forward here, holding that garage door. And look at where the rest of JLINGZ are. They're kind of rotating around that tower, around that nest bridge, and trying to trap eUnited, and they've done a pretty damn good job of it.
Morga expecting a rat tunnel push here. It looks like Ryan Noob instead going to go scoreboard. They do a double scoreboard push, and it works out perfectly. Morgan knows he has to try to stay alive here on the window, but not going to be easy. Help does come in, though, from Quad.
Quadios cleans up the damage. Ryan Noob is going to have to be dealt with, and Septic is there to do so. So this is a much more prolific hill coming in from JLINGZ. They've done a much better job of contesting, making sure they're trading out kills, and when they do have the advantage, they've been collapsing well as well.
And you got to wonder, United maybe just a tiny bit of foot off the gas there after the easy 2 first hills, you could argue. And now JLINGZ trying to make this one interesting.
Yeah, for sure. You can see that maybe just patrolling around the edges of the hill a little bit too much. eUnited. Quadios with a big win there. Ryan Noob with some uncharacteristic sloppy shots.
Yeah, definitely expect Ryan Noob to win those faster. He generally does there in the back of the base. We'll see if it actually matters in terms of points on the board. eUnited continuing to score.
Will be another overshield going here unless some late contesting comes in from JLINGZ to eUnited. Flux tried to do what he could, but when it matters, it seems like all the big moments are being won here by eUnited. Snipedown flies in. He gets stuck, and Morga will trade it out. So Morga has an opportunity alongside Quadios to maybe lock this one down to JLINGZ. One player just trying to push that small door at the moment, manages to get that kill, but this is looking a little bit shaky, this hill here for eUnited, but it looks like they're broken through at just the right moment.
Yeah, Quad, tough angle for him. 2 dead. The last 2 are pushing rat tunnel and also on garage door. Let's see if the contest is going to pay off in the end. It looks like, no, that should be an eUnited hill. They will get it despite another solid effort. The best effort, you might say, in this game so far from the side of JLINGZ. However, it won't really matter on the scoreboard 3-0 in favor of eUnited.
So many times when watching these best teams in the world, it is coming down to that last push that you see when the objective is involved, and a lot of the times it's the higher seeded team, and maybe, unless you've been watching today, who comes out with the strategy and the calmness to win those big moments, and that's been the difference so far in this game. Let's think about that second hill, right? It was a final push that came in from Rain, who managed to close things out, but not for the first time here. We're seeing Quadios looking for a multi-kill. He's already picked up 1 triple, picks up the double here, and he's looking for more.
Yeah, Quadios there coming around the corner. AR was ready to go. Ready to shred some shields, as we've seen Ryan Noob do many times with that same weapon here. A tale that we've seen before. It's halfway done for JLINGZ on this 4th hill, but can they convert in the end? Here comes the eUnited push.
Really good setup around this hill. Good perimeter set up by JLINGZ, making sure that anyone who pushes is going to take some damage. But there is the first pick, and there is immediately the objective being stood in by Suspector, turning this one on its head. But JLINGZ are doing a good job here, baiting in eUnited. Snipedown comes in and gets a big kill, but there is that trade immediately. JLINGZ starting to find their feet a bit.
They are a bit. We'll see if they can finish this one. If they can, we might have a game on our hands. Of course, if they're unable to do that, will be the game itself here. 2:36 left on the clock, and eUnited controlling up for a bit there. They're able to get a few points on the board, but JLINGZ still only a tick away. This should be the hill.
Should be the hill, but also really important to see here is that if they get the hill, then they might get that overshield as well, and that's been something that's been so elusive for them. JLINGZ get that point on the board, and you can see the triple kill from Flux is going to secure them an OS as well.
Yeah, killing spree as well. As you say, that will be the overshield stop. Then they will be here top middle. That was 3 dead. Rain was your last player alive, and he was still dead. So now eUnited has to wait and reset. Septic with a late pop on the overshield. Trying to isolate the 1v1s as best he can here. First one is done, but Rain eventually cleans him up. To be honest, he's going to be thankful to even get one there based on the eUnited counter.
Morgan's going to challenge, but that's the kind of fight you feel you have to win if you want an opportunity to lock down a hill here against eUnited. He had a couple of opportunities to hit that headshot. Rain just reads Quadios like a primary school book there as he tries the little jump up to the platform from that bottom tower area. Snipedown now this is where you love to watch Snipedown play Halo, right? When he's just playing around that objective, around the hill, he just puts himself in such good positions to do huge amounts of damage.
3 dead there for JLINGZ. You can also tell they're firing on all cylinders here. 4 dead now. is eUnited. You can tell Snipetown even had his heat wave focused on the bottom middle pillar jump as well. So they were just really ready for that play at all costs. Their body shot will connect from Rain, and they will continue scoring. As a reminder, this will be your last hill if eUnited closes it out here.
Almost halfway done. JLINGZ have got to go, and they've got to go soon. Quadios is trying to do what he can just to distract, just to cause some problems, but the difficulty here for JLINGZ is even if they try and push from inside of Garage where they had been spawning, the sniper rifle stood in the hill was just locking down top middle.
Absolutely. Now, 2 dead for JLINGZ yet again. It seems the man advantage is inevitable and never ending for the side of eUnited. That will be 3 dead. Your last player will drop down. That will mean more time on the board. Continued sandbag pushes, however, with that bottom control, that means more points once again for eUnited.
JLINGZ trying to push around cuts, but they just don't have the time to do so.
Oh my God.
I always said,
don't do it.
The Rain, it just has this ability all of a sudden when he picks up a sniper rifle to do the nuttiest things.
Just stunned on fools here. Repulsor jumps top middle. The man is in the X Games here. You're all playing Halo Infinite, and he's playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater with a little bit of a sky-high style. 1-0 in favor of eUnited will be that game number 1. And it looked like a pretty comfortable game from eUnited, which is what you would expect from them in that series.
Yeah, very comfortable for them, to be honest with you. It wasn't really too much of a challenge been shown by JLINGZ. They got that 1 point on the board, but apart from that, a few moments that they maybe could have made something more of situations they found themselves in. I do think that Garage Hill was a real opportunity for them to really turn that game around and maybe put some pressure back onto eUnited. It wasn't to happen, though. That final push that came in from eUnited, once again, just synonymous with some of the best teams in the world. It's what they do.
Exactly. And even you look at the C-Plat Hill, right? They let that entire hill get away from them. They ended up putting a lot of points on the board, but had they not found themselves in that early deficit, maybe they could have tied that 1-1. Would have been a much more interesting game. And you have to think eUnited is looking at JLINGZ, and maybe rightfully so, as we look historically, as a stepping stone to the rest of their bracket. We'll take a look at the series layout so far. 4-1 in favor of eUnited is that first game you just saw. Now we set our sights on Slayer Catalyst. And if you're JLINGZ, you're probably pretty grateful that this is going to be a Slayer Catalyst, just because the game type is as non-traditional as we get in terms of the suite of Halo Infinite. Plays a little bit differently. You can get away with a little bit of nonsense, but to be honest, eUnited, loves those wacky Slayers too.
They do indeed. I would say that for JLINGZ, this is a good game type just because it's so linear, right? There's not too much to think about. It's kind of what's in front of you, what's behind you. It's as simple as that. Playing around that OS and trying to use that skewer to lock down some of those angles. But if they can heat up a little bit here, get a bit of a lead, then they can control the pace of the game. So I'm interested to see if JLINGZ can offer us something in this series and put the pressure back onto eUnited. They've had a great run so far, but is there enough in the tank here for JLINGZ? Is there enough belief to think that they can beat a team like eUnited?
Yeah, that's really it. And I think we also have to remember they're playing with nothing to lose here, right? They're coming in with a huge upset once again against Team War to send Team War home early on in the tournament, and they now find themselves up against a team like eUnited. To be honest, they might even already be surpassing their own hopes. Nothing to lose, but can they convert on the opportunity here? That's the question. We're into game number 2.
That's what I'm saying to my teammates right now if I'm on JLINGZ. This is our opportunity to really cause some problems, really solidify our story, and really try and be the Cinderella team that really kind of causes an upset that people remember, right? JLINGZ Esports, no one expected them, with all due respect, to get to this position, but if you can win one series against eUnited, it shows that there's depth in Europe. It shows that there's an opportunity for more upsets probably over the next couple of days.
Absolutely here. Small 2-1 lead for JLINGZ. They're able to get Suspector actually off of the rip on that opening spawn. They decided to all 4 shoot the same side. It paid off, but you have to think there's so much more than just that opening fire to the opening start of a Catalyst Slayer.
Well, here's the man who went 18-4 in that Game 5 yesterday. Let's see what he's got to say. JLINGZ Esports, we've got an Astro Gaming listening.
Alright, I'm just gonna go back. We're just gonna be
two guys base.
Just go around,
Alright.
You get this base, get this base.
Oh, yeah.
I got skewer, guys. I got skewer.
Let's be nice one, please.
Alright, I'm back here.
We're all here.
Yo, behind us.
Yeah, turning.
2 gold. Oh, they
back.
back.
Yeah, they all came back.
You going to us? You going to us?
No.
Alright.
Holding.
Wait for my spawn.
Hiding.
My spawn behind.
Yo, I'm getting double push, guys.
Free high.
Three in the
All
hallway.
pushing, they're all pushing.
Random sweep. I'm leaving it.
West side,
yeah.
west side.
One shot, look gold.
2 on me here. 3 on me here.
You're
They're all weak,
wrong.
they're all weak. On the shimbo. Hey, no, absolute.
I'm coming god.
Right pillar.
Yo, wait. I'll go one, oh my god.
Remember, guys, these guys run around as far
Alright,
as...
yeah, good
I'm dead as fuck, mate.
Yeah, guy.
I'm out.
I'm shooting around.
Oh,
Yeah.
15
Problem
boys.
here as well.
I have grapple for OS,
We
guys.
can go back to these guys if you want.
Low gold, we guys. One shot, side down.
I'm getting well.
Push it.
I'm gonna push low gold, guys. Low gold.
You going through?
Low gold behind you. Yeah, he's on
One
PP.
shot on the ramp.
Yeah, I'm behind him.
On the middle, go for one shot.
One shot, mate. One shot,
right, bro.
Is this X guy?
Yeah.
He's
on the west,
15
now,
arrow.
west
No, that's one shot.
One shot on the west. He didn't burn it.
He did.
Suspect is weak on you.
Well, JLINGZ certainly not feeling the pressure. You can hear that from the comms.
Yeah.
Cool, calm, collected. Kind of what you want to hear there. The only problem is the score has moved in the favor of eUnited here. 12-7 we find ourselves at.
Yeah, it's a hot start for Suspector here. He's 5-2 in this game, and to be honest, he's been slaying out all day. Not surprising to see. Now make it 13-7. Margin grows ever further. It's a great setup, though, for our game number 2. Both of these teams are 1-0 in this game type here, so still a lot of time to play.
100%. It's 14-8 is where we find ourselves. eUnited still with that pretty significant lead at this point in the game, and the worrying thing here for JLINGZ is they're not getting their trades. The gap just keeps increasing one by one. We find ourselves with a 6-kill differential between the two. How do you feel about picking up the sword in this kind of situation?
Oh, God. You know me, I don't break GAs under any circumstance here. I don't know if that same could be said about every team in this tournament, but I don't break GAs, I don't make enemies. I think that's how you find yourselves on with the wrong person in a long, dark alley at an event here. Is if you start breaking GAs, I think you'll find someone on Sunday night that wasn't too happy about the GA break. I'm going to leave the sword on the map.
This is true. I saw Tony Two-Turn pick up the Mangler earlier by accident, trying to pick up something else off the floor.
I've done that.
And he brought it out, and he was like, oh, I can't find this. Let's switch to the BR.
I have done that in ranked, and I have panic dropped it immediately, you know? One thing you can do is grab the sword, toss it off the map. That's what I would do with the Halo 3 bubble shield whenever I saw it. I'm like, get this thing off of the map. That's allowed here if you want. 20-10 now in favor of eUnited, and Suspector continuing this reign of terror you're seeing on screen. 8-2 at this stage. He is quadruple positive at this early point in the game.
I think it's fair to say that Suspector's probably been the standout player for eUnited today. I think he's been superb. Every time we've seen his POV is winning the gunfights. He's been picking up multi-kills, and it's just been that consistency that eUnited probably desperate for at this point in the tournament. For now, though, it's going to be the man on your screen, Rain, who's got himself a skewer. We've already seen him hit one shot. This is going to clip the toenails, but it's not going to remove the feet.
Oh, good angles there. He almost wins both of those 1v1s. You have to think if he had maybe just an extra second, he might have won the first one, possibly the second one. Did a lot of damage there, did Rain. But they were very wise to check that angle and make sure, they didn't check this one, though. Suspector's still there. Guess what? You got to check the angle twice when you're playing against eUnited. 24-13 now. Suspector is still with the skewer and repulsor in hand, and there goes the overshield.
It's the first time you made that noise. I'm quite happy to hear it. I've missed it.
You got to scoop that overshield. Shloop. And it's sniped down too. That's not the player you want to go up against with an overshield.
This is difficult to fight. There's no other way to put it, especially when Suspector is still hitting shots with that goddamn skewer, and that is going to be 3 or 4 dead once again here for JLINGZ. It's getting a little bit out of hand.
It is.
It really is getting out of hand.
It is. There's no doubt about it here. I think, as we mentioned, eUnited is looking at this as a regame series, a reset series. Let's get back to the fundamentals. Let's see what we need to do. We are certainly the favorite in this series, and they, of course, have high hopes for the rest of the bracket after that match against FaZe, and that's certainly how they're treating this match, and it shows in the scoreboard.
Certainly does. Now Snipedown might have an opportunity to pinch with a teammate here. A couple of players not even going to have the opportunity to do so because Suspector is adding his 14th kill to his collection. Suspector is 14-2, by the way. 14-2, 2 deaths.
And that's also a killing frenzy. Not the first killing frenzy we've seen from Suspector on the stage today. You heard from Ryan Noob in the episode of Eclipse, the eUnited documentary series, just how much he's meant to this team. He is now the trio to the Ryan Noob Rain duo, and it is showing on the board. He's 15-2, and to be honest, he has 1 less kill than all of JLINGZ.
Yes. If that doesn't tell the story, I don't know what will. And at the moment, it's looking like JLINGZ might find themselves on the cusp of unfortunately being at the end of their tournament run here at the Halo World Championships. But you never know what could happen. Any crazy things that we've seen today, maybe they're going to outdo them. 4 dead for eUnited. That's a good way to start it.
I suppose. I'm looking at a 16 kill deficit here, and I think you and I are thinking the same thing. This one's going to be a tall order, even with 6 minutes left on the clock, as Suspector goes to 16-3. He's now more than, I don't know what the word is, but 5 times positive. He's about to approach 6x positive. I've never had to do that level of multiplication in my head.
Quint is the start, isn't it? I don't know. It's quintuple.
Thank you.
Quintuple.
Thank you to Clayton, our producer here, because we haven't had to use
quint. You had to thank Clayton, didn't you? I thought I was going to have that moment.
Not a chance. I am not letting you get away with that. He is now quintuple positive. I actually haven't ever said that in a full broadcast. Rain is shooting bodies, as you might argue after that battle he has full permission to do. It's 41-23. It's getting out of hand. We're getting out of hand. And this game is not far from over.
Suspector's getting out of hand. He's been out of hand for quite some time now. 17-4. As Quad tries to move in with that skewer. So there's going to be a couple of kills going here to JLINGZ. Maybe avoiding the steak dinner has to be the first port of call, as it always is in a Slayer game, but for now it looks like eUnited with just 9 kills to go. It's kind of how quickly are they going to get there, and will Suspector drop 20?
That is actually the question here, which is scary to think about. Obviously, that's a huge swing of kills for JLINGZ compared to where they were moments ago, with Suspector almost outdoing the entire team in the kills category. Now Ryan New making the push here, and you have to think just a matter of time, as we said. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Septic going to go under the map once, twice. Spider-Man's back up. Wait, he's going to do it. Try to do it again. He will eventually get taken down. Now 43 to 26, and really just a matter of time here for the side of eUnited.
Ryan just read that way. He saw him go off the map. He's like, okay, I'll let you swing back under. I'll just finish off on you when you pop back up. Quadios is going to be at least making this respectable, so to speak, but Snipe Down just moving in to clean up the damage that is already done. Flux, just get the feeling you're going to get forward here, but Snipe Down shows respect still, and again, that's good stuff from eUnited, right? Showing that the fundamentals are still there. They're trying to get into those good patterns.
And they're trying to avoid the stake dinner here, and looks like they're just a kill or two away from maybe avoiding the stake, which reminds me, actually, you and I saw that there might be steak for dinner here.
I don't want to miss steak.
At the venue, which is actually pretty exciting. That does remind me that we do have dinner plans after this series. 4 more kills to go here for them to close this out. 4 minutes on the clock as well, but you can bet they certainly won't need it.
Overshield. There it is. The official noise of the Halo Championship Series once again comes to your ears as Ryan moves in to try and finish this game off. It is just 4 more to go. At the end of this team push, especially with a couple of spike grenades, you would feel like eUnited will be closer and closer than they ever were to going 2 up in the series. But there's a little bit of a surprise around the corner. There's a blue hat. But it is JLINGZ who actually come out better in that exchange. Yeah,
Ryan, of course, very happy to trade there, and they will, if they get 1 more kill, avoid the stake dinner. Keep in mind, 20 or more is the deficit for that stake category. Thankfully, our stake is not depending on those kills. I wouldn't want to risk that. 48 now to 32 more kills to go, and I got to say, it just seems eUnited outclassing JLINGZ here, and it's really shown in these past few minutes of just really essentially waiting for this game to end.
Yeah, and you can see Snipe Down just moving in now. They do avoid the stake dinner, something that I certainly won't be doing, but eUnited can make themselves a little bit hungry for a series victory here as they go up by 2-0. 1 more game to go for them to keep that elimination bracket run going.
Yeah, if we're honest, it's looking a bit too easy for them. I think that's exactly what eUnited wants. They want this to be, as we said, a bit of a reset series after their main stage match, and they're going to be very happy with how the series has gone so far. On the side of JLINGZ, though, they will need to dig deep if they want to make any kind of effort here to make this series respectable.
Yeah, it's looking like a tough battle for them to try and overcome, unfortunately. I think, like we mentioned, coming into this series, this is probably the biggest mismatch we've seen all day as far as, history, placements, whatever you want to kind of throw in front of you, could stats, whatever. Nothing really goes in the favor of JLINGZ, what we're trying to say here. And it is just kind of on display for us, right? JLINGZ still learning, though. I
Coming
think it's
through
a
the
great
play-ins,
opportunity.
Of course. I think a lot of respect to them here for getting hard.
But they've achieved probably more than they would have wanted to and expected to at the Halo World Championships here. And put it this way as well, this was a team that maybe wasn't even expected to make it to play-ins. You were looking at Quadrant as being that team who would make it in. And they fought their way and they deserve to be here. So for JLINGZ Esports, maybe this is time for another reverse sweep. Who knows? Crazy things have happened.
We have seen, if you've caught all the actions today, we have seen unbelievable reverse sweeps from the most unlikely of candidates. Maybe this will be a candidate here. We'll have to see if JLINGZ can find the gas in the tank. Next up, going to be Oddball on Streets. eUnited is not going to make it easy. It has been a clinic from them so far here in the elimination bracket. We'll see what they have in store for game number 3 as well.
Let's see what JLINGZ can do off the rip here, because I always feel like opening strategies in any series where you are the underdog are the one thing that give you a little bit of confidence, right? Because if you can get rockets here, you can pick up a couple of kills, and all of a sudden just being able to get those rockets, there is an opening strategy for you, by the way. It gives you an opportunity just to link together 4, 5, 6 kills and get a bit of control, but that's not going to be allowed to happen. Once again, eUnited on their P's and Q's. The throw for Ryan up to Snipe Down. He says, hey, I'll take the death, you take the rockets.
Nice little Hercules throw there, as you say, from the laundry into the tires with the rockets. Ooh, it's a very nice thrust from Morgan, but Snipe Down splash damage takes care of that. That will still be 3 dead. Septic is your last player alive on the Neons.
Snipe Down now moving his attention towards that objective. Ryan's going to grab it. Septic's going to just pop a squat on the owl and try and survive until his teammates can get back into a position to help him get out of this position and put a bit of pressure on. There's the giveaway, though, coming in for Snipe Down. The spike grenades being thrown. Good damage coming in from Snipe Down, but a 3-man push here from JLINGZ completely blows open this pink street, and now they have the opportunity to push.
Absolutely. We'll see what they can do. 2 dead here. See if they can get a third. It's a Suspector who's flying into a court. That will be a third, but not before a few kills are traded out. Not going to be easy here in the back with Rain applying the pressure on back A.
Yeah, Rain's doing an amazing job here. He gets the trade as well. Septic now in a 1v1 with Snipe Down. Snipe Down will win it. And with that, even with the spawns coming in on the red room, there should be a chance for eUnited to rally here, get back into position in and around that tower, and put a bit more ball time on the clock.
Nice patience there for Morgan to wait for the help coming in there. Snipedown tries to isolate the 1v1, but he will fall victim to the 2v1. However, 24-3 already in favor of eUnited off of that really great opening strategy, able to get points on the board and the rockets at the same time, as we had said earlier. Bark, bark.
Woof, woof. More of a snarl this time from Rain. No real bite marks going to be left by the Bulldog this time. So that's going to make the push on that pink street a little bit more difficult for JLINGZ. As soon as you see or you hear whatever it might be, either the bullets or the audio cue from that Bulldog, you know that push on pink street is something you're going to have to think twice about.
Absolutely. Whenever you hear that, you know that, especially on land, right? We talk about the Bulldog and the Heatwave. Snipedown not able to get the second rocket off, so that will mean that Quadios is able to get away with one rocket in the back pocket. We'll see what he could do. Not too much of a deficit here, but certainly not a lot of points to be spoken for the side of JLINGZ.
Rhino still in that corner. Rhino manages to get one. There is that Bulldog, and there is Septic with the kill, and that's going to be 2 dead, 3 dead for eUnited, as JLINGZ do finally get a semblance of control on the map. Snipedown's moving through the cafe. Get a little bit of crossfire coming in from Quadios and Co, and you can see that Septic is sat up at the moment. Once again, for the second time, working those quads, working those hamstrings, popping a squat, but he's not going to be able to do too much here as the team work too much and they take him down.
Flux with a nice battle there. That will still give a man advantage to the side of JLINGZ here, as it's still 2 dead for eUnited, and there's more points on the board. Now just a 10-kill game, but a low-scoring oddball game so far. Given the skill delta that we've seen between these teams in the series so far, JLINGZ is certainly staying in this.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they're given as good as they can get in this game. As Snipedown wins his 1v1. Quad probably thinking about maybe a play ball, trying to get that ball out, having seen a couple of his teammates fall around him, but not going to be able to do so, and in the end just ends up giving up a death as eUnited get control once more of the map. This time, Suspector, the player who's been slaying a lot of the time in the last recent memory for eUnited, will pick up that objective, showing that he can do it all.
Yeah, interesting there. The ball was about to reset anyway. You have to think maybe Quadios had an extra second to stay alive back A. Of course, hard to know that unless you're timing that exact ball touch time, which is very, very difficult to do, if not impossible, at this high level. 39-17 now in favor of eUnited. It's a slower scoring game, certainly, but eUnited has still felt comfortably in control. However, they now find themselves 3 dead.
3 dead. As once again, the push works this time from JLINGZ, as Quadios will flush out the remaining player. That's going to be Rain, as now you're going to see them start to come back into this game a little bit, rotating away from that pink street push that's coming in. And they're starting to read the map a little bit better here, JLINGZ. That's going to cut that rotation, though. He gets into the 1v1. There is a 4-shot that we've seen 1,000 times before, and certainly it's been felt by more than 1,000 players in Halo history.
Oh, without a doubt there. Snipedown gets into tires, and you're right. He should not have gotten away with that angle. It's a really great route from him. That's going to be 1 dead on the side, maybe 2 dead now, as Rain comes in with the rocket. Soon to be 3 if we can see a kill on Flux on the commando. Regardless, though, it's good control once again from eUnited.
eUnited just timing that power weapon perfectly. You can see that Rain gets the call out, will be able to clean up that player even before he can finish the kill. Snipedown is there to steal it away from him, but that movement with the ball is starting to cause some problems for JLINGZ. You see they're starting to get a little bit scattered. They're starting to run into the traps that are being set by eUnited. The ball is kind of the bait, and JLINGZ are chasing it.
Good shots here from Rain to somehow stay alive as well, and just really watching his teammates back as much as he can. He stayed alive in the back. Scary spike grenades. You never know how far that thing's going to go, especially on land. Swear to God, I saw a spike grenade across the venue earlier today. I thought it was still going to hit me. 58-29 now.
I think it's fair to say spike grenades in those kind of positions almost as unpredictable as Jersey after a couple of beers.
Oh, God.
That's fair.
Which is quite a statement, actually.
Well, here's Quadios, seeing if he can break the setup. He's not going to have an opportunity to do so. It doesn't check his left, and you've got to look both ways before you cross any kind of street when you're playing against. Yeah,
if you will. Hey.
Very good, very good.
Sorry.
eUnited still with control.
70-29 is your score here, and look at the numbers again. Snipedown 14-8 in this game, absolutely popping off. It's a trade there for Septic in the end, but you got to think trades are still going to go the way of eUnited, given the score line here, 81-29, 1:24 left on the clock.
I mean, the difference with how this round has gone has just been, as soon as that ball got towards Tram for eUnited, the setup just seems so difficult for JLINGZ to break. Finally, they get in a position where they have a 2v2 on the map. But as you can see, as soon as the attention turns to the oddball, there's the pressure from eUnited. They've used that ball almost as a 5th player, just baiting in JLINGZ to try and get that touch, to focus away, and then rotating around it, forming a perimeter, and just raining down shots.
Yeah, I think Quadios thought about a play ball there off of B stairs, but kind of got a little bit handcuffed because he couldn't get the ball off. There was players pushing him on B rail, unable to really get the play ball there. In the end, it will fall on B stairs, and maybe an opportunity for some more time on the board for JLINGZ with 3 dead for eUnited, but they will need to have a solid hold here. They are down by 50 with 50 seconds left.
Well, it's a real chance for them to do so, though. Septic got that ball back to Tram. This is where you really, if you had an opportunity to pick where you wanted to set up, is the best place because of the difference in elevation that you can fight from, but this break is almost coming immediately. You can see, even with that thrust, Snipe Down just snaps onto the headshot from Flux, and that's got to be a heartbreaker. JLINGZ 4 dead. And this might be the last opportunity here for them to push, but eUnited with the ball in hand. The question is, can they push before the 15 points is picked up, or will this be round 1 going to eUnited?
Yeah, based on this right now, it will need to be a picture-perfect push here. Quadios goes straight through the front door, doesn't even ask for an invitation, and gets punished for doing so here. 95-96, 3 points to go.
That's going to be it here. No one in position, only Morga alive on the map, and he's not in any kind of situation to cause a problem. It's going to be 1-0 in rounds here to eUnited. JLINGZ Esports, unfortunately now for Europe, 1 round away from being eliminated from the tournament.
Nice little toss there of the ball, perfectly onto the bout there. Some style points added for Suspector. We'll start things off here in the second round from Rain. As you say, that first round comfortably going to eUnited. They're playing very systematic Halo. Worth noting, they aren't trying to play this game with dominant control. They're playing a little bit of a slower game. And while that is pretty typical for eUnited, you have to wonder if they're going to have the speed for the later series when they'll need it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they can kind of change the gears, so to speak, when they do get those advantages on the map. For now, it's actually going to be JLINGZ who have set up pretty well at the start of this one. You can see they got the ball back to tower, they got Morga with 1 more rocket to play with, and they get the first pick in this team fight as well. It should be traded out by Suspector, and it is, and somehow Suspector comes out with 2.
Oh my god, Suspector, like a one-man SWAT team, just slides in and decides to pick apart the setup there on the caution into the PD. Ball is well rotated though from JLINGZ. This is a great tram rotation.
Yeah, really, really good here from JLINGZ, thinking about what happens next, not just what is happening now. And with that, they have a 32-point lead. They got the ball all the way back into Tram, and Snipe Down, even though he's been alive for quite some time and doing a huge amount of damage with his Stalker Rifle, can't get in a position to really take anyone out without having to overextend. Having said that, looks like a team kill came in to help him out, and that is not what you want if you're JLINGZ.
I was trying to figure out where on earth that kill came in from, and as you say, it was definitely a team kill in the end, and Snipe Down almost stays alive there. He will be taken down, but that means eUnited going to be scoring off of that unfortunate team kill, and that will start to bring the game back. However, a good lead for JLINGZ off the opening. Let's give them all the credit they deserve here. They're up 36-12. We'll see if they can bounce back here and stay alive in round number 2.
Yeah, Septic putting up a fight himself. You can see he's at 15-12 in this game. Unfortunately for Morga, a bit of a rough series so far. He's currently sat at 6-12, so he needs to up those stats a little bit, even though the assists are looking not too bad. It's not what you want to see from a player in a series, excuse me, against a team like eUnited. On the other side of things, Snipe Down has had enough of killing things. He's going to hold that old ball and watch everyone else do it for him.
Yeah, and while doing so, still leads the game in kills 18-12 right now. Still a +6. All eyes on bottom middle as those rockets are about to pop from Rain.
Pre-nades the Ivy corner. He's got that Stalker Rifle. There's a trade coming in from Quadios, but trades at this point for JLINGZ, they're really not going to get the job done. They have to work a little bit better at getting initial damage down and then prioritizing what that first kill is going to be. How are we going to break in off the back of that damage? With the hold that eUnited now have over at Tram, they've gone into a lead, and JLINGZ starting to look down the barrel of a defeat.
Yeah, what was just a 36-0 lead is now actually a 9-point, making a 10-point deficit here. 3 still dead for JLINGZ, and it feels like eUnited was just waiting for the right time to strike, and strike they have. They are now into a sizable lead here and getting close to double their opponent's score in about 10 points time.
Yeah, it's just starting to look like a little bit of a victory lap here for eUnited. JLINGZ, it's been a great run for you, and there is still a little bit of time left, but with the way that eUnited are playing, it looks like a little bit of a pissed off for United from what happened earlier.
I think so.
Against FaZe Clan. They want to have another opportunity to put those wrongs right and keep their tournament going, and unfortunately for JLINGZ, they've just been kind of the rabbits in the headlights, so to speak.
They really have been here. Like you said, eUnited frustrated with that earlier loss, and they've had a lot of time to think about that game number 5, if we're honest here. 63-37, still 2 dead for the side of JLINGZ, making 3 dead. Last player alive is going to be Quadios and back Commando.
Suspector is hunting him down as well. eUnited know exactly where Quadios is. It's just a case of holding it down until we can find that final kill. And if we don't get it in time, then putting pressure on those respawners. I love that from eUnited, recognizing they didn't get that kind of window of opportunity to collapse. Therefore, they've decided map control was the priority.
Ooh, look at this interesting setup here. Morga actually goes all the way to back A. Septic stays at B. They break off into a very rare 2v2 on the map right now, especially with a tram hold, and that ball will still be down over at C. B, but a little bit of a less traditional setup here at the moment.
Snipe down gets spiked out of Cafe, but look at the weapons he's got to play with. He's going to be very, very difficult to deal with. But there still are two players here from JLINGZ who are looking to do so. At the moment, you can see that eUnited kind of stopped prioritizing that ball time.
Yeah.
Trying to think about the kills first before they do try and convert some points and move closer to that win. And having done so with 2-3 dead now for JLINGZ, they have that ball back in their hands.
Yeah, it looks like, as you say, just a little bit of a kind of a slow and steady here. 74 points on the board here, only 25 to go before eUnited closes this out, and they're really slaying all the way across the map.
Septic trying to break in here, and some great shots, wonderful shots actually, just to snap onto the head of Suspector. But again, even with that big 1v1 win, his teammates fall elsewhere on the map, and JLINGZ just not had the numbers on their side at any point here in this game. It's just 15 points now to go for eUnited. And with everyone trapped from JLINGZ on that pink streak, this could well be the final hold.
Yeah, Snipe that extends his kill count right now to 22 and 13. Rain is also 21 and 14. It's been an all-around great performance so far. 4 dead and 5 points to go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it will be 3-0 the final score of this series for eUnited. A little bit of confidence may be back for this quartet as they move through the bracket, but JLINGZ, unfortunately for you, firstly we should say congratulations for a great run. It's been wonderful to have you here at the Halo World Championships, but that will be the end of the Halo World Champions.
Absolutely, and of course, as you said, eUnited, they're looking on form, maybe trying to find that World Championship form once again, and we do have to say, if you're only seeing JLINGZ for the first time, you might think this team kind of got rolled over, but I think they have a lot to be proud of here. You might not have seen their run all the way from the play-ins, a big upset in Game 5 yesterday to get all the way here now to secure a top 12 finish. Super respectable for JLINGZ at a World Championship, without a doubt. Their run will end here. Congratulations to them for getting as far as they have, surpassing, as we said, maybe even their own hopes, but it's all about eUnited across the board. They will win 3-0 and look ahead in the bracket.
Yeah, looking very, very strong there, eUnited. Not really at any time were they troubled in that series. You can see from those scores in front of you with that series. But here is the elimination bracket. Here is how things are looking. Fnatic with that incredible win over that G1 with that crazy Game 5 a little bit earlier. They'll be going up against Oxygen Esports, who once again won an incredible Game 5 against G2. So that's kind of a battle. The underdogs coming through there and managing to pick up that win.